baby.
Rolling.
Are we rolling?
We rolling.
Welcome back to Throned.
Gots to go.
Gots to go.
Throned.
What up?
What up?
We back.
We back.
Episode 2.
Deuce.
The Kingsroad.
Yeah.
Right on.
I was like, oh, look at you. I didn't forgot to write it down. And
you were
then
going to say,
it was
look
right
at
there.
you.
No, I was going to say, well,
you
yeah,
were, you
I was.
were going to say, look at you. I hate when people say
I'm
that.
sorry.
Look at you. Look at you. If you're not saying that to a toddler, you're an asshole.
I meant like, I forgot to write it down, so it's my bad.
Well, look at you.
Sorry.
Look at you.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be an asshole.
It's all right.
All right.
We'll let it slide this time.
Okay.
So what's up? Not what's up like with us, but
yeah.
Let's see what happened at the beginning of this one. We just finished. But so much shit
are you
happened.
ready to break it down?
Let's break it.
Down.
Let's
So I
break
guess
it down.
should we say what happened at the end of the last episode so we kind of remember where we left off?
I guess so. What happened?
Brand
He
quote
went
unquote
splat.
fell / yeah, he went splat.
Yeah, because at the beginning of this one, well, go ahead. We'll get to that. No, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You were like, what happened?
Yeah, I was like, what happened? No
Yeah.
one's died yet.
Yeah, we did watch the previously ons, but we talked through them. So we watched them twice and talked through them both times. So.
Meh. We know.
So anyway, the Kingsroad apologize for being a dick to you.
Whatever, bro.
I didn't mean to. So it starts with Danny and Co hiking through the grass. I think it's called the Grass Sea. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but whatever.
They're
anyway,
a big ass line of horses.
Yeah.
And it sucks, and clearly she thinks it sucks because it sucks.
she's all weepy and emo in the corner.
She's bummed because she's getting blasted by her new dude.
Yeah, she's riding a horse for a lot longer than she's used to.
Days.
Yeah. So Jorah tells her that she needs to eat. She needs water. She says, "Is there anything else but horse?"
Because he handed her a piece of horse jerky.
Yeah. And he says, "Nope. There's two things that the Dothraki have in abundance, which is grass and horse, and people can't live off grass." So,
Truth.
Yeah. Danny seems pretty pissed about this, but takes a bite anyway.
Yeah.
Jorah,
gotta eat.
Yeah, girl gotta eat.
Gotta eat, girl.
Gotta keep that.
Gotta keep that fat boot, that chubby butt.
Yeah,
fed.
there you go. Jorah talks about the Shadowlands beyond Ashai and tells Danny how the Dothraki believe that the dead grass will overtake the world one day, and that's how the earth will end.
Like, wow, thanks. That was really depressing.
Yeah.
Thank you for that and the shitty jerky.
Yeah. Well, I think that's his point is to why they're roamers, like why they move a lot and stuff like that.
So they don't get swallowed up by the shitty black grass.
Yeah. And so Danny sees Khal Drogo, looks at him, and Jorah makes the comment, eventually it'll get easier, which I assume means being
Sex.
rawed out. Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to get used to that.
Yeah. So that's the opening scene. Then they stop the Dothraki stop to make camp. Danny can't get off her horse without assistance because she's not used to riding.
She is all fucked up.
Yeah.
I wonder how long were they, how long were they supposed to be riding
Well, I
for?
assume their treks are full day's worth. So,
So all day long.
Some stopping.
In the horse
whatnot.
position.
Yeah. Something she's not used to. She's never had to ride. She's also been sitting in a palace for a year at least.
Be hitting that bitch side saddle some. I'd be like trying to lay on the horse backwards some, like backstroke style. I'd be like walking some. You gotta mix shit up, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta move around.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. As Danny's struggling to get off the horse with the assistance of
Looking like she's a fucking 100 years old.
Yeah, seriously. Viserys walks by and he talks to Jorah. He says that he's not going to leave until he gets what he wants, a.k.a. his army. Jorah says he makes some snide comment about why Jorah can't go home.
Yeah.
He says, did you get in trouble for buying or selling? And Jorah says, I sold some poachers that I caught on my land. That's why I've been banned from Westeros.
And he was like, shit, when I'm running shit, you won't have to worry about that.
Yep. So then it cuts to Tyrion. He's waking up in a pen filled with dogs. Joffrey thinks he's being cute and makes this comment about Tyrion waking up with bitches.
He said he was like, oh, it's like probably one of the better looking bitches you've woken up with or by or beside or whatever.
Yeah,
like what the hell do you know?
Yeah, we all know Tyrion slays. So one, what do you know, Mr. 14-year-old?
Tyrion is out here stroking hoes.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's half your size and will always bang more bitches than you.
Yeah, and he's just talking shit. It's like, you don't know anything about his sex life. You don't know what your uncle does.
Exactly.
Like, when are you ever hanging out with him?
Exactly.
You just want to say some shit.
You just want to say some kid. Yeah.
Always got to be trying to burn somebody.
Yeah, you think, because I guess he thinks, like, is the Hound his audience? He thinks he's being cute.
I guess so.
For the Hound.
He's such a
bitch.
Twat.
Yeah, he is a twat.
It's like
twat is a perfect word
I was
for
going
him.
to say the same words.
Yeah.
It is a perfect word for him.
Yeah. Yes.
Joffrey.
We should just call him twat from now on.
Joffrey the twat Joffrey. That would be his MMA name. the twat.
The twat.
Yeah.
Well, Tyrion tells the twat to go visit Catelyn. Joffrey says nope. And he quote unquote says, I hate the wailing of women. What do you know, dude? Like, again, you're
what?
A child. He says that he hates the wailing of women, the crying of women. Like he's some, like, oh, I hate when women cry. Well,
yeah.
So then Tyrion smacks him and he cries.
He's just repeating things that he hears people say.
He thinks he's cooler than he is.
Like to appear more grown up and macho and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Tyrion, again, as I said, he bitch smacks him in the best scene in history.
Like 3 fucking times.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like, dude, I'm telling you, bitch. You can't bitch.
Yeah,
like,
but nope. Here's another one.
How do you want it?
Yeah. The Hound says as Joffrey runs away crying, he makes the best noise. It's like a
oh my god. You know they did that on purpose. Like, okay, you gotta sound like
the biggest
you gotta
baby.
Sound like, oh yeah, like such a pussy, man. Like really pussy it up.
Really.
That's good shit.
Yeah. So the Hound says that the prince will remember that, and Tyrion says, if so, if he doesn't, be a good dog and remind him. So Tyrion always coming back with the best quips. He walks away feeling pretty good, because I would feel that way after hitting Joffrey a few times.
Hell yeah.
He walks into breakfast where Cersei, Jaime, and Cersei and Jaime's children, Jaime/Robert, they're having breakfast. They talk about Bran. It seems to be that pretty much everyone but Tyrion thinks that Bran's gonna die. But then Tyrion's like, they think he actually may live.
Yeah, I hear he's gonna live.
Yeah, we see
everyone's like,
well, Jaime and Cersei explain.
Well, not everyone, yeah.
They exchange a really gross look.
Yeah.
Incestuous look.
Like,
what do we do now?
Live, huh?
Yeah.
Doesn't she say something like, oh, she just like put that boy out of his misery some shit?
She said, it's no mercy letting a child linger in pain.
Especially when they know that I fucked my brother.
Yeah. That's really the only reason you don't have any mercy. If it was your child,
oh yeah,
you'd want to save him.
You'd be in there
all costs,
biting people's heads off.
Yeah. So that's when Tyrion says he's gonna go to the wall. Jaime says, "Are you joining?" And Tyrion says, "No, all the women in Westeros would cry and wail their eyes out."
I think he said all the whores.
Well, I was being nice.
That's Tyrion's squad.
Yeah, well,
nothing. It's not unnice.
He's fine with paying for whores.
Yeah, and they're fine with getting paid.
Well, in the book, there's this whole thing about Tyrion and this girl that he thought loved him, but was supposedly a whore.
They kind of do that shit. They talk about that shit.
Yeah, but it's like way worse in the books.
Oh, okay.
Basically, long story short, what is said in the show is that Tyrion's first girl was paid for. In the books, he had to watch all of his father's men pay and have sex with her in front of him, and then he got last dibs. So
Oof.
it's like this whole
That's
thing,
rough.
and then when he finally asks his dad, what did you do with her, because he sends her off, he says, I don't know, she went wherever whores go. So it's like a mantra that Tyrion has throughout the books, is just like he's constantly like, I don't know, wherever whores go. Yeah, so it's like the whore thing is like a whole thing in the books. They don't really touch on it as much in the
Way
show.
worse in the book.
Oh yeah. So anyway,
Got it.
Small side note. So anyway, he's obviously not joining the Night's Watch because Tyrion would have to lose his dick.
Yeah, he's
before-
also he's smart.
Yeah. Well, obviously, he also doesn't believe in kind of what the Wall stands for at this point. You know, he
Be-
thinks that it's just
seems
kind of
silly.
there to keep the
Even though he loves
wildlings
dragons, but
yeah.
he also realizes that they don't exist, or at least not at the moment.
Yeah. So Tyrion says he just wants to piss off the edge of the world. So
Yeah,
that's
right
kind of
on.
why he's going to the wall.
Fair
Also,
enough.
as we were talking about, it would be this, I mean, just massive, like, thing to see. So if you had the chance to go see it, why wouldn't you?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So,
So who's like escorting him? How many people is he?
it's
with?
just like a handful of Lannister men, but he's with the Night's Watch pretty
okay.
much, yeah. So then Jamie says that they go back to talking about Bran for a minute. Jamie says that a good, clean death is much better than being a crippled, so foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie, ask me that question again when you are missing a hand.
And right at that moment, they like zoom in on the handshake.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, this motherfucker is gonna lose his hand.
Yeah, upon rewatch, I was like, I mean, could you guys beat us over the head with the
Well, yeah,
foreshadowing
I mean,
a little
obviously,
more?
you have no idea what's going on, but it is funny watching it for like the fourth time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm catching lots of little things.
Lots of tiny little things. Tyrion says that the boy does wake, he'd be interested in hearing what he has to say. Jamie then says, I kind of wonder sometimes whose side you're on. And Tyrion says, I take offense to that, brother. You know how much I love my family. Which, again, is a lot of foreshadowing. So, yeah, that whole conversation.
Yeah.
So then we cut to Catelyn, who's hovering over Bran's bed, making that weird dream catcher thing. Cersei enters. I wrote that she pretend that she lost a child. I know that that's the story in the show, but in the books it's a little different. I'm not that person that has to be like, the books it's this, but in the books she kills the kid.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to throw tidbits about the book and actually in the book does this, and it's like interesting to hear about it, but they don't need to be compared.
No,
'Cause we're
the
talking
only
about the
reason
show.
I'm saying this now is because she goes on to say that the boy looked just like Robert. In the book, she says, I had one child who looked like that was Robert's.
Yeah.
And I
That was-
purposely aborted the situation. So that's the only reason I bring it up. I feel like it's small things in the book don't really matter.
Oh, I don't
but
mind
things like that may be interesting.
You're not an annoying book person, so anything you bring up is
Well,
is
again,
cool.
I think they're two different mediums
Well, I
of the
like
same
hearing,
material.
I like hearing things that because you see it in the show and you're like, oh, actually, it's this whole thing, like you were like what you were just
Hearing.
talking about.
Yeah.
So like that's interesting.
Yeah.
So let it ride.
All right. Well, so Cersei comes in. She tells Catelyn about losing the child. She says that he was a boy that looked just like Robert. She said that when they came to take the baby away, she screamed and yelled, but never saw him again, and she never visited the crypt. So basically, just said once he was gone, he was gone. Then she says that she will pray to the mother every morning and night that the mother will return Catelyn's child to her, and that she hopes that maybe this time it'll work. And then she leaves. Cersei always walking in, being kind of ominous as fuck, and then just leaving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that bitch.
Small side note, I want one of those blankets that like Bran has on his bed.
That looks like it weighs 50 pounds.
Yeah, it looks like it's just really nice and warm.
I'm with it.
I want to snuggle in it.
It probably just is an animal.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, it's probably like a bear or two. Anyway. Jon Snow's in the yard. We see Jamie walk up. He asks about the sword that Jon has the blacksmith making. Blacksmith?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought that was the wrong word for a second. Jamie asks him if he's cut a man yet, and he goes on to talk about how you find out how vulnerable you are when you finally slice into someone, basically. He thanks, in the most passive-aggressive way, John ahead of time for his service as the Night's Watchman.
Yeah, what a cunt.
Yeah, pretty much. John feels the need to defend the Night's Watch and says, hey, we've guarded the kingdom for over 8,000 years. Jaime's like, oh, we already, huh? You've already taken your vows, huh?
When he's like, well, it's either that or hang out here where I'm fucking hated by the woman of the house.
Exactly.
And of the north.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm fucking pretty much there,
Yeah, like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm not Jaime fucking Lannister.
For sure.
My pretty blonde hair.
Dick.
Yeah.
I mean, I very much like Jaime later on, but
right now he's a dick.
Dick right now.
Well, yeah, definitely. So as he's walking away, Jaime, of course, has to make one last quip and says, hey, if you don't like it, it's only for life. Another foreshadowing.
Burn!
But yes, big old burn.
He is burning him pretty bad. He's like, check it out. Just test it out. And if you don't like it, then, oh well.
I need Kelso to jump in and be like, I'm sorry, that was a good burn.
Sorry, it was just a good burn, John. Shit.
So then we see Arya. She's packing, not very well, and John enters behind her. She says she has to pack again because her things weren't properly packed for her.
Who inspected the
woman that's like their
their
teacher
nanny
thing.
Okay.
Yeah. We find out that her dog's name is Nymeria.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's mentioned before that. John says he has a present for her, but it has to be packed carefully, so he has to give it to her now. It's a sword, the one we saw him having forged. He tells her it's not a toy and not to cut herself. It's really skinny and long.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Also, she tries to give him a hug while stabbing him with it.
I did put, he tells her he's going to miss her. She almost stabbed him by accident.
And then she almost headbutts him by jumping into his arms.
Yeah, pretty much. He says it won't cut off a man's head, but it'll stab him full of holes if you're fast enough. And then he gives her first piece of advice to stick him with a pointy end.
And she's like, I can be fast, and fucking super badass.
Yeah.
So I guess I will be.
I will be. I'm fast. I'm very fast.
I'm fast. I'm very fast.
Yeah. She says all the best names have sword, or he says all the best names have, all the best swords have names. And she says Sansa can keep her sewing needles. I've got one of my own. So we meet Needle. Nao. And Nymeria. That's my terrible impression.
Yeah, that was something.
Shut up. So we go back to Bran's room. Catelyn's still there. Oh, well, always. Well, I mean, I understand. I only hate her because I hate her. She's allowed to be mourning right now, but I kind of hate her.
She is. You just you just know you enjoy John because he's a sweetie and he's cute and he's got the pouty lips and he's just a nice character and he's like the underdog character.
I like John because he's the
Well,
king.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying you as in everyone. I mean,
right.
If you don't like Jon Snow, you're just a
go the hell home.
Yeah, you're a hipster asshole.
Yeah.
I don't actually like John.
You're one of those people that's like,
more of a hoodoo kind of
I'm one of the 1% that's never watched Game of Thrones. Like that's
okay,
cool.
Great. That's super duper. But we all like John because he's sweet. He's a sweetie, and then
he's clearly a good judge of character. Yeah.
And he hits a redhead in a cave, which I can totally get down with. I'm a redhead man myself. So, yeah, I totally forgot where I was going with this.
Anyway, we're talking about how Catelyn is a bitch.
That's right.
I like
right.
it's kind of okay because of Bran, but
I'm gonna close it. We like him, and she's being an asshole to him.
Yes.
So it's like, I gotta hate you right now.
Exactly.
I'm bummed you get your throat cut open. I mean, I don't need all that to happen, but I do not like.
But
you.
I do need you to chill and let John say goodbye to his brother.
You do need to cool it, Kool-Aid. I need you to leave.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, dude. I'm taking 2 minutes.
Yeah,
to say bye to this combed up
2
kid.
seconds. So, as we said, John comes in to say goodbye to Bran.
How long at that point when he's saying bye had he been in the coma? Monthish?
No, I think it's less than a month.
No, it had just happened. Ish. How long were they?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think it's like 2 weeks. Well, hold on, because she said a month. It's been almost a month when they go to leave.
When they go to leave,
or right after they leave. I would say 2 to 3 weeks.
How long they were there?
How long after Bran's fall we are now?
Yeah.
I would say 2 to 3 weeks.
I was asking how long like the king and everyone was there.
Oh,
like,
I would say probably close to a month.
They were posted.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So they had to really like host then.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't just like
because you're not going to travel a month for a couple days.
That's a good point. It's not like I'm thinking they're showing up in like a car like, oh, that was a fun little weekend. Let's hit it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, dude. My ass hurts.
We just rode here.
Yeah.
We took 30 days to get here.
Just got here.
You're telling me to turn around?
Yeah. So go ahead. Turn around. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we know we're around each other.
Anywho.
So John comes to say goodbye to Bran. Catelyn says, "You've said it." John ignores her, and he tells Bran that he wishes that he was awake. But he goes ahead and tells him his plan of joining the Night's Watch anyway, and says, "We can go out walking beyond the wall if you're not afraid when you wake up." Which, more foreshadowing, because Bran cannot walk.
Yeah.
Catelyn says, after this really nice touching moment with John and his comatose brother, Catelyn says, "I want you to leave," because she's
like,
a
yeah,
bitch.
That's necessary. Obviously, he's not going to just like hang out there after that.
Yeah.
So he's clearly about to leave, but you
Anyway.
need to throw that in there.
Yeah. She doesn't know Ned's behind her.
And Ned just comes in like, God damn, you're a bitch sometimes.
Yeah, chill out. John gives Bran a final kiss and unfortunately doesn't give Catelyn the finger and leaves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or just look at her with his cute pouty lips and go,
Fuck you.
"You're a cunt.
You're a cunt. Yeah.
You're a cunt."
So, so Ned walks in and Catelyn is crying, and she clearly is crying about how she was wronged in this moment. But she says 17 years ago, Ned ran off with Robert to go to war and came back a year later with another woman's son. And now he's leaving again. Ned says he has no choice. She says, "Yes, you do. That's what men always say when honor calls."
And it's not honor, it's the king.
Yeah.
It's so if you don't do what he says and he gets mad enough, he just kills you.
Yeah.
There's no like, "Oh, let's take this to trial. Let's see what other people think." No, you're just dead now.
Yeah,
so,
you're just done.
And like I was telling Holly earlier, yeah, they're best friends, but like if he was like, "Actually, I don't want to go," I was like, "Well, now you're just an employee, and you need to get your shit,
going.
and you are leaving now."
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, "Oh, we're old friends, and I really appreciate you doing this, and obviously you're gonna come with me because of you're honorable man." But no, like if he said no, like Catelyn's thing saying he could, because she's a dumbass, he would obviously just get thrown in a on a horse and be like, "Let's roll."
Yeah.
Because you are coming.
Yeah, exactly. So she says she can't do it. Ned says you can and you must. We see John and Rob out in the yard. They're saying, as they meet up, Rob asked John if he was able to say goodbye to Bran. He says yes, and he says, he's going to make it. And John says, "Yeah, you Starks are hard to kill." Which is a funny line to say to Rob when he's very easily killed. Rob asks about his mother. John lies and says that she was kind. John said that black was always his color. That's
the black sheep.
Well, he's talking about joining the Night's Watch.
The real black sheep.
Yeah, he is the real black sheep. Yeah, and they say their goodbye, and it's sad to know that they never see each other again.
He's like, yeah, and they kind of like.
It's an ominous goodbye.
Yeah, you feel it when you know.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it is. It heavy is the word. It is heavy because he's like, "Goodbye, Snow."
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye, Stark.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they look at each other for a second. It's like, well, that's that for you guys. That's a wrap on that.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about how it's interesting to watch these episodes and know that like Sansa, the next time Sansa and Jon see each other is when Ramsay's involved.
Yeah, when people are heading out of Winterfell, it's like, fuck, this is everyone together really the last time. That's it. You see it at the beginning, and this family gets all fucked up.
After this point, I mean, Bran only sees Jon once when he's in the woods. He sees him north of the wall. and then that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like when you really, really think about the fact that, Arya hasn't, other than Sansa, she doesn't see any of them after this point. That kind of stuff. When you really think about where they are now in the story compared to where they are in the first, it's like a whole different story.
For sure.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Anyway, back on track. So the parties, they leave Winterfell together and they head out to the Kingsroad where they eventually split. One goes north, one goes south. Before they split, Ned and Jon say their goodbyes. Ned says that it's a great honor to be in the Night's Watch and that Jon may not have his name, but he has his blood and that he'll always be a Stark. Jon asks him about his mother and Ned says, hey, the next time we see each other, we'll talk about your mother.
It's like, oh, that's
convenient because
really
you'll be dead.
It's like, I'm sorry, why can't you just tell me now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
because it would just change absolutely everything.
Everything, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like the time I asked my dad about what a virgin was, and then he just walked away, and I'm still waiting on that answer. It's like I'm never going to get it. It would have changed my life back then. I know what it is now, obviously,
never gonna get it.
Never going to get it. So Jon rides north, and we the scene ends. We see the southern party stopped. Robert can eat at a table.
Yeah, so he can completely set up camp so his fat ass can eat grapes and like I don't know.
They barely even eat. I mean, you set out this whole spread.
Yeah, because it's
really
like
ridiculous.
It's like every time they stop, like, all right, I don't want to stop. It's like all of his shit out just in case
he
wants it.
Yeah, it's like you think we're wasteful now.
Might want to play with my sword or eat some cheese or
yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever.
But I want it available.
Yeah, and I want it now.
It's like
and I want it now.
Big fat fucking spoiled kid.
Yeah, exactly. Robert said that he wants to ride off by himself, and Ned says, I'd join you if it was only 20 years ago. That's basically what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robert, they start talking about their, good old times. Robert says he asks about one of Ned's wenches, which he's like, what's her name? And Ned says, Bessie?
I don't know.
It's Bessie.
It's something kind of weird. I don't think it was just Bessie.
Well, anyway.
Could have been.
He confirms that it wasn't Ned's girl. It was actually Robert's. So we all know how Robert can't even remember how many girls he's been with.
Oh, the first girl they're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Then he asks Ned, he's like, which one's your girl? And he was like, the bastard's mom. And he says Wyla.
That's
Ned,
the name I was thinking. I was
yeah.
like, I don't think it was Bessie.
No.
Like, bless Bessie, bless Bessie's tits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on.
Robert said that you never told me what she looked like, and Ned says I never will. It's clear that Ned's never talked about this woman to anyone.
It's almost as if she doesn't exist.
Shocking. So apparently, it's pretty clear that Ned's been pretty hard on himself about whatever happened 17 years ago. We're obviously not acting like we don't know. It's clear that Jon is not his child.
Yeah, whatever. We don't have to.
But I'm not going to recap in general what all happened, but we're talking about Jon.
Yeah.
So Robert then hands Ned a note that came from a writer in the night. It says that Daenerys got married. Ned says, what do you want to send a gift? And Robert says, yeah, we should send a hired knife. He says they go through the whole story about what happened to the Starks because of the Targaryens and how Robert wants to kill each and every one of them for what they did. And it doesn't matter that she's on the other side of the sea. Robert says that he's still called a usurper throughout the kingdom by some, and that there is a war coming. It's just when. And again, who knows which one he's talking about.
Yeah, seriously, he's like, oh, there's a war coming. I don't know when. It's like, well, there's like a fucking 100 of them coming, but yeah.
You won't be around for him.
Pick one. You won't be here, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're going to die quickly. So then we go to the Dothraki camp. Khal Drogo is hanging out for a second, and then he walks into a tent, bangs Daenerys.
Beats that real quick.
She cries the whole time, clearly not enjoying it.
Until she sees her eggs, and then she's hyped for a second.
Yeah.
End scene.
Yep, that was the whole scene. Good cutscene, guys.
Getting beat up, hyped on eggs.
Bye.
Over it.
Yeah. So we go back to the northern party. They're stopped for the night. John's giving the guys that are bound bad looks. They're the guys that are also going to join the Night's Watch.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I didn't realize. I thought these were all just going to be a bunch of,
Honorable.
like, honorable soldiers, but this is kind of just, like, the asshole of the land.
Yep.
It's like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyrion confirms that they're rapists and that they get that typically they get an option, the knife or the wall, and that most people choose the knife. Because, you know, I guess the wall takes your freedom away.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much can throw your dick away anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So he says that's the great thing about the wall, that you're basically everything about you, your previous life is forgiven, and you don't have, like, house doesn't matter. You can rise up through the ranks. It doesn't matter that John's a bastard. It doesn't matter that he's not a Stark. The wall is the wall. So, John asks why Tyrion reads so much. Tyrion says it's because great things are expected of him. He's a Lannister, even though he's an imp. If he wasn't a Lannister, he would have just been left to die. So he said, you know, I have my mind in books to my mind are like a sword with a whetstone. Like,
yeah.
it's needed. He also says, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that John interrupts him and says, until your brother killed the king. And Tyrion kind of gives him a look.
Yeah.
And then is like, yes. And now Robert is king. And then his repulsive son will be king.
Yep. My shit-ass nephew.
Yeah, shit-ass nephew. So Tyrion asks what he said in quote-unquote. He says, what's your story, bastard? And John responds with, ask me nicely and I may tell you.
And then he just runs off. Instead of asking him nicely, he just runs off telling him.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. I was going to say exactly what you're saying. John starts talking about what the Night's Watch sits to protect, and Tyrion says, hell no, that's all bullshit. And then hands him a skin of wine, and it says everything's better with it.
Everything's better with wine in your belly.
So then we go back to Bran's room. Kate and Catelyn's still in there.
Of course.
Maester, posted hard. Maester comes in and he says it's time to look through the accounts. That the steward went south and there's other things that need to be done. Catelyn says she doesn't care about any of that.
Because they do still need to run the North.
Yeah. You know, there's
shit to do.
Well, there's people that depend on you.
It's not like just to do.
It's not like you and your kids and your family.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You have an entire castle.
There's like all other houses
in a town.
Yeah,
depending on you. Yeah.
So she's like, I don't care.
I
it's
don't
like,
care.
oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, you're worthless.
Yeah. You know you have other children.
And then Rob, like a G.
Yeah, he
his
enters.
handsome ass
He's
steps
like,
up.
He goes, yeah, I'll take care of this shit. Let's talk about it in the morning. So Catelyn, he tells her, he's like, you need to leave this room. Because you haven't.
Yeah,
ever
for real.
Go take a bath or something.
You're going to go insane.
Yeah. The dogs outside are howling really loudly throughout the whole conversation. Rob's telling her she needs to leave. She's arguing no. Rob looks out the window. He sees a fire. Obviously, understands why the dogs are barking. He's like, stay here. He runs out. Catelyn walks to the window to look over the fire to kind of see what's going on. And as the camera pans back, we see a man with a hood behind her. And
you ain't supposed to be here. No one's supposed to be here.
And then he says, it's a mercy. He's dead already.
Yeah, and then he whips that fat. That's what she said. That's the fatty out.
Yeah.
The
Valyrian steel.
It's Valyrian, yeah.
Yeah, it's a dagger. Yeah, Valyrian dagger.
So
he whips,
obviously somebody with money gave this bum ass looking dude this knife to kill.
Yeah, exactly.
Bran.
Yeah, exactly. Clearly not his knife. Catelyn tries to fight him off. She ends up getting like deep cuts on her hands.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, inviting him because the blade's like digging into her hand. And then Bran's direwolf Summer comes running in.
And fucking runs it, dude.
Yep, that's what I put. Runs shit and saves the day, and then he finally sits down next to Bran on the bed.
And gives the most sweetest little look ever.
Yeah.
Goes right back into being cute.
Yep.
After being so ruthless and puncturing a fat hole in that dude's neck.
Yeah, dude dead. So we cut to Daenerys. She's getting all of her, wounds from riding and stuff taken care of, and she asks about dragons to her handmaidens. One of them, who is obviously not Dothrakian, she says that she was told that the dragons come from the moon, that the moon was an egg, and that there were once two, but one got too close to the sun, and it popped, and out of it poured 1,000,000 dragons that drank the sun, and that's how we have dragons. The other handmaidens are like, you're an idiot. And Daenerys was like, hey, you guys leave, leave me alone with the hot one, please.
They just said, they were like, the moon is a god?
Yeah.
And that shit is known. And then the other one's like, preach, the shit's known. And then she was like, yeah. Could the two not as attractive ones leave now and leave me with the 2-moon hot chick to teach me how to dry hump?
Yeah, she seems sexual.
I like her. I like her.
Oh, go with your
I like
instincts.
her story more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go with your instincts. Go with your instincts.
So Daenerys asks her how you know so much about the moon, and the hot one, I'm just going to call her hot. She makes me think of a Hot Ones bottle, though. The hot one said men like to talk when they're happy. She said she was 9 when she was sold to the pleasure house, and that but she didn't touch a man for 3 years because you first must learn.
You gotta learn. You gotta go through the ropes.
You
3
gotta
years
learn
of the
today.
ropes. You learn.
Yeah. Daenerys asks if she can teach her, and hopes it won't take 3 years.
It only takes one scene.
Yeah, one dry hump scene.
One sexy dry hump scene.
Yeah. The driest, hottest, wettest
the driest
hump
of the
ever.
sexiest.
Yeah. So the northern party reaches the wall. You see, is it Benjen? Yeah, Benjen turns to Jon and says, welcome.
Welcome to shit land.
Yeah, this big ass icy brick.
Yeah. I feel like being cold as shit.
Yeah, pretty much. And scene. Again, quick cutscenes there. We see Catelyn go to the broken tower. She goes upstairs, just kind of exploring. She looks out the window that Bran, quote unquote, fell out of. And she starts kind of looking around, and it seems that she sees a spot that has clearly been cleared off recently that draws her attention. So she starts looking around that area and finds a very long blonde strand of hair.
Not a lot of those
Not
long
a lot
blonde
of
haired
long blonde
people
hair in Winterfell.
running around these parts.
No, they're typically red or dark hair. It cuts to the Godswood where Catelyn is telling a small group of people. I think it's the Maester.
Yeah.
Maester. I think it's
whoever the guy with the crazy pork chop beard
the Stewart.
sideboard.
No, it's not Stewart. I can't remember his name. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I think he's the Hound guy. I can't remember exactly who he is. That guy, Rob and Theon, right? Is that all of them?
Yeah.
I think that's everyone. Yeah. So she's telling them what she has come to the conclusion on. She says that she doesn't think that Bran fell. She thinks he was thrown from the tower. She says he's been that there's been an attempt on Bran's life twice now. And she can't understand why somebody would need to kill a young boy unless, there's more to the story.
Something to hide.
Yeah. So then somebody brings up the Valyrian steel dagger and says it's clearly not that dude's weapon because
he looked like a busted old bum.
And so the Maester, because he's a Maester and thinks rationally, is like, well, before we go accusing anyone or saying anything, we need to find out more information. And I think Lord Stark needs to know. Catelyn says, well, I don't trust a raven to send the words. Rob volunteers, but she says, no, there must be a Stark in Winterfell. So she decides, well, I'm the last to go. I'm the last option, so I've got to go. And that's when it's confirmed that it's been about a month since Bran fell.
Yeah.
So Catelyn goes to Bran's room and kisses him goodbye. And then it cuts back to Dany and Homegirl in bed.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So
Yeah.
we have the sexy dry hump scene.
Mm-hmm. And she's with the sexy dry hump scene, she says men want what they never had. She tells Daenerys, "You're not a slave, so don't let him take you like one." And she says, "Out there, he's the mighty Ka, but in the tent, he belongs to you."
She was like, "I don't think this is the way they like it." And he's like, "Just fucking do it.
Just do it."
Telling you he's gonna like it.
Yeah, which just is, just shows you that girls don't like being on top. That's her whole problem here. She's like, "You just gotta be on top." And she's like, "Nah, I don't want to do it."
Oh, okay. I give that 4, 5, 9 fucking thumbs down.
Yeah, but I mean, if you don't like it from behind,
That's
then
booty.
I mean, what are you doing here? What position do you like, Daenerys? Missionary?
No, she's a noob.
Whatever.
This guy came in guns blazing. Didn't even let her
That's true.
decide what she liked. It was
Well,
just
they're
like,
horse gods.
well, now this is happening.
They see what horses do. They come in guns blazing.
For sure.
So then we get a nice shot of the dragon eggs, and Dany laying in wait for Khal Drogo. He enters.
And we don't actually mean the dragon eggs. We mean Count Drogo's balls.
Yeah.
That's just what we call them.
Yeah. Dragon eggs.
Swinging.
Yeah, I mean, he comes in swinging.
Right
so,
on.
Yeah. He tries to do it Dothraki style. And she says, "No, I want to look in your eyes like a girl."
And then
No,
he was
just
like,
kidding.
he gives her a very like,
I don't know what that means. This is uncomfortable.
Don't know if I like this.
Yeah. And they do it cowgirl style instead.
But then
Well, then
she starts moving the hips, and he's like, "Oh,
I like that.
I had no idea that this was actually my absolute favorite thing
Yeah.
in the whole world." So, yeah, go ahead. I am cool with this.
Yeah, I'll keep doing that.
This is great.
Yeah.
I got everything. I got access to everything. This is the best position. It's
Yeah.
great.
What did you call it?
I don't know.
The thigh ass area.
Oh, the thas.
Thas.
Yeah, you see the fat thas, like the ass that meets the thigh and pokes out the side. The fat juice just spills off onto the side. It's just the best. And she's kind of thick,
She is.
at least in these early seasons.
Well,
like
yeah.
I was saying, she's like Rachel from like the first season of Friends.
Yeah. She's got the baby fat still.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yep. So,
I like it.
on
Thick Van Dyke.
Thick Van Dyke.
Thicky Mouse.
All right, so onward past
Yeah,
Daenerys
sorry
and her
to get off
thickness.
track. Well, GOT, back on track.
Well, that's the problem when you have nudity.
That's the problem when you throw these fine ass ladies on the screen, because that's why we start rambling off, and now we're doing it again. So back on track.
So the southern camp has stopped. We see Sansa walking her dog around, and she almost walks into Sir Ilan Payne. The Hound walks up behind her and says, "Are you frightened by him or by me?" And he said, "It should be by him. Look at that face." Which is a pretty fun burn from the Hound.
Oh yeah, definitely burn.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just a good burn.
Sansa asks why Sir Ilan... Well, he walks away. And Sansa asks why Sir Ilan Payne won't speak to her. And the Hound says he had his tongue cut out almost 20 years ago by the Mad King. And, of course, Joffrey shows up thinking he's cute again. And starts talking about how he's the royal justice. He's the, he's the one that is the headsman for the king.
Just speaking in twat.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know what like Charlie Brown noise that is. It's not the wah wah wah.
Yeah, I don't know. He's
But,
just the worst.
Yeah, just the worst. He dismisses the Hound because he's quote unquote scaring Sansa, and he asks Sansa to walk away or to walk with him. She leaves Lady behind. They walk off, and we cut to a scene quickly where we see Arya playing swords. They're just playing with some sticks.
Playing
they're
some sticks.
playing
Butcher's
swords
boy.
with the butcher's boy. His name is Micah.
Micah.
Joffrey, cut back to Joffrey and Sansa. They're kind of walking nearish. He's trying to get Sansa day drunk.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And they overhear the quote unquote sword action. Sansa, as they're walking up, yells at Arya, distracting her, and Micah hits Arya on the arm.
Yep.
So all of this is Sansa's fault. Joffrey.
It always is.
Yeah, it always is. Joffrey, being the dick he is, says, "Pick up your sword and show me how good you are, butcher's boy." And keeps telling him that
Should have ran it on him with the fucking stick.
yeah, you're right. He's like, you struck my lady's sister, and I'm a prick and just twat.
Yeah.
Sansa, Arya is yelling. She tries to like get involved. Sansa's telling Arya to stay out of things, which is what they should have done in the first place. And Joffrey thinks it's going to be cute to try to cut Micah on the face. While he's trying to do that, Arya finally hits him. Joffrey. Joffrey turns and calls Arya a cunt. Which it's like, oh, that's the pot calling the kettle black.
For sure.
Yeah. And then Nymeria, because she's around, is like, oh, you're gonna call her cunt, huh? All right, well, I'm gonna attack you now.
Don't play that.
Yeah. So she kind of bites at him. He falls to the ground. Arya grabs Joffrey's sword, stands over him, points the sword at him. He's crying like a baby.
Like a little bitch.
The whole time Sansa's acting like the bitch she is.
Like a little bitch.
Yeah. Eventually, Arya throws the sword in the water and runs.
Yep.
Sansa makes things worse by acting like Joffrey's mom. And he's just trying to be a puss but not look, bad in front of his lady.
Don't touch me!
Yeah.
Also, side note. Well, I guess we're going to get to that because she's about to make her sweet wolf puppy run away so he doesn't get killed. She doesn't get killed.
Yeah.
It's a girl, right?
Nymeria, yeah.
Yeah. She is the cutest one.
Oh.
Her face looks like it was drawn by like a 50s Disney illustrator.
So precious.
That dog is so precious.
So precious.
Goodness. I just can't.
I just
Is that
can't
the
as
one
well.
that she runs into later?
Yes.
And it has like the hole and like now it's running shit.
Yeah.
And it has like a whole gang.
Mm-hmm.
They're the cobras.
Yeah. The cobras.
Or T-birds.
Cobras.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
the cobras.
We're the cobras.
Yeah. Fuck. That dog's so cute. Go ahead.
So cute.
That wolf's so cute.
So Arya and Nymeria are hiding. She knows that Nymeria is going to be killed for what she did to Joffrey, so she tells her to run away.
Yep. Throws a rock at her.
No, well, because Nymeria won't leave, so she throws a rock at her.
Very sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. So the search for Arya is obviously goes into the night because we go from day to night. We see Ned out in the woods looking for her. He's yelling for her. A rider finally comes up and says they found her and that she's been brought to Robert and Cersei.
Straight to the king.
Yeah. Ned gets back to wherever they are. He walks in and
what
he's
the
like,
fuck is this?
yeah, he's like, why wasn't she brought to me? This is my daughter. Cersei says, you don't speak to your king like that. To which Robert said, shut up.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I like that Robert don't play with Cersei.
Robert's not playing that shit.
Yeah, not at all.
Not when he's got his old war buddy with him.
Yeah, exactly. Cersei says that the butcher boy, Arya, and the dog attacked Joffrey. They beat him with clubs while the wolf was sicked on him.
Wow, Joffrey, for being such a badass, you're making yourself sound like a little bitch in this story.
Yeah, which Robert calls him on later.
For sure.
Which is awesome.
Is just fantastic.
Yeah. Robert says kids will be kids. She says one thing. He says the other. What am I supposed to do about this? They ask about Sansa. Ned says she's asleep. And Cersei's is like, nope, she's not. So it's clear that she's already gotten Sansa to clarify the story.
Yep.
So Sansa not wanting to look bad in front of Joffrey, but also not wanting to lie in front of pretty much everyone. She says she doesn't remember, even though it happened a handful of hours ago. So Arya is like, nah, that's not good enough. So she grabs Sansa by the back of the head because they're sisters.
They're sisters, and Arya's a badass.
Yep. Cersei says she's wild like her dog and that Joffrey will bear the scars for the rest of his life.
Oh, no.
That's when Robert insults Joffrey and says, what, you can handle a girl and her dog?
You're bitch made.
Yep. And he says, you know what, Ned, you take care of yours. I'll take care of mine. He goes to leave, thinks things are done. Cersei's a bitch and won't let things go.
Just won't drop it.
And she's like, what about the wolf?
What about the beast?
Yeah. So Robert's like, what about it? And they're like, well, we couldn't find him or find her. And so he's like, all right. And she's like, well, you've got another.
There's another one.
And so Robert's over this conversation by now. So he just says,
like,
be done with it.
Fuck it.
Yeah. So bye-bye, lady.
Also, good, because that wolf just looks like a little dog anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Not nearly as cute as
Yeah,
Nymeria.
not cute, not big. Like,
And
even if she's
also-
walking around with it, just looks like a dog. And also,
A consequence, Sansa.
yeah, that's what you get, Sansa.
Yeah.
You bitch.
Yeah, what do you
lied.
expect?
And now your sweet, non-wolf, shitty-looking dog is dead. And that's all your fault. All your fault.
Oh, yeah.
because you chose this squeaky little twat over your sister.
Didn't she say at one point, "You're ruining everything"?
You're ruining everything.
Everything.
Fuck you.
Yeah, definitely. So
she's also a character that I hate right now and like later.
Oh,
Obviously, I mean that's
you're supposed to.
You're supposed to.
Yeah. So Cersei goes. She goes about things happily. She's like, "Oh, bring the dog here. He's tied up, or she's tied up. Bring her here." Ned's like, "Nope, I'll do it." And he said, "The wolves of the north. She deserves better than your butcher, bitch."
Yeah, it's like don't touch the, well, and it is just a dog, so
that's true.
They're like, get her a dog. It's like, it is a dog. She'll be happier with a dog. It is a dog.
It is a dog.
It's like 2
it's
feet
not
tall.
A cat.
Hers doesn't even look impressive. Everybody else's looks like pretty big at this point. Hers just looks like this shitty ass dog.
Yeah, lady's bitch made.
So what are you gonna do?
That's true. So then Ned's walking out to where Lady is. He walks past the Hound, who has a body on the back of his horse, which is the butcher's boy.
That's rough.
Ned says, "You rode him down," and the Hound responded, "He ran, but not fast enough."
Not very fast.
Or not very fast. Yeah, sorry. The Lannisters clearly suck because they just killed this boy for no reason. So we go back to Bran's bedroom. We see Summer wake up for really seems to be no reason. I think he just, we know the reason. He senses what's happening to Lady. They all have this interconnection. So we go back to where Lady is chained up. She perks up as Ned approaches, but clearly can sense something's happening as well. He loves on her for a minute before he pulls out his sword.
That's sweet too. And then she's like, and it's crazy too because they're like, she feels like she's in danger, but she's like, well, I'm confused because I'm still with the person that protects me and feeds me and is nice to me, and so it's like I'm not gonna bite them and defend myself because that would be wrong.
Which is like that. That's why that wine is so like it's just.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah.
Even though it's just a bitch little dog, and I'm glad Sansa had her heart crushed because she deserves it, but poor little thing.
Yeah, you're right. Well, Sansa gets more what she deserves later. So.
Yeah, this is so true.
Yeah.
So
this is just the start of Sansa being
we're
terrible.
We're living in the now, and right now, Sansa, you're a little bitch. So
little bitch.
We'll get to you being cool later.
Yeah. So Ned pulls the sword, and at the very same time he kills Lady, we see Bran wake up, and then fade to black.
Fade to black.
Into Ep.
It's almost as if there's some kind of connection there.
Yeesh.
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 All right, folks.
So that was the Kingsroad.
Kingsroad, episode 2.
Yeah.
We're kind of doing this thing. We kind of just started on a whim.
And now we're doing it.
And then we told people on our other podcast, which is Murd Up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Murd Up. True crime, murder stories.
Hands and feet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holly tells me murder stories. I react to them. I say, damn, that's crazy, or fuck that guy.
Yeah. He has a lot of good
commentary.
Yeah, commentary.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
But but we're also down with the GOT. So I hope you liked the show. I hope you return. Also give Murd Up a listen, and we'll see you at the next one.
Yeah, thanks.
Peace out.
Bye.